Welcome to another episode of Real Estate Wisdom Podcast. I'm your host, Vishal Kapoor, and today we're going to delve into the budget 2024 and how the increase in capital gain tax can impact each individuals. Government is saying that it's not going to impact many people. It's only like a 0.02% or something. I don't believe that. When you impacting the taxes and you charging taxes to a corporation, higher income group who are investing in real estate and other places, it's going to have a ripple effect. So I don't understand where it comes from that it's going to only impact one person. So we are discussing the 2024 Liberal government proposed budget, focusing on the proposed higher tax rate on capital gains and its potential ripple effects on homeowners, retirees, corporations, and the broader economy. So let's start with the basic. The whole intention of federal budget, which Trudeau government has proposed, is the capital gain inclusion rate for individuals, trust, and corporation. Specifically, 66.7% of capital gain realized on or after June 25, 2024, would generally be included in income for tax purposes, up from the current 50%. This change is significant and has sparked a lot of discussions. I know buzz is all over the place and everybody is thinking about it, what's going to happen. And a lot of people were expecting that they might not pass because NDP government was thinking about it not to support. But just heard the news the other day that NDP leader Jagmeet Singh also say yes. I don't know what deal he had made with the Liberal government, but in my opinion, as a critic, this is going to be a disaster. It's going to create a lot of issues. But let's break down the pros and cons before I come to my conclusion, because sometimes you make your opinion without knowing, what pros and cons. So I'm not saying there's not pros on this one over here, but I think there's a more cons to this than pros. Look into what the government have to say. So the government expects this measure to net 19.3 billion over the next 5 years. And this revenue is embarked by housing and other government policies aiming to address affordability and inequalities issues. They call it like a tax fairness. And Finance Minister Chrystia Freeland described the measure as an attempt to lean against structural inequality, targeting wealthy individuals and corporations to support middle class and younger Canadians. Sounds great, isn't it? Who doesn't want to support people who are suffering? But here's what the cons are. What my argument is that higher capital gain tax rate could dampen investment in Canada, particularly affecting startups and the venture capital space. And this could stifle innovation and economic dynamism crucial for long-term growth. And think about that way. When the cost is increasing, when you're making less profit, where that's going to go? We see that impact whenever the gas prices go up. What happens? Inflation rises. When the cost of living go up, because of those impact, because things goes expensive, right? And this is like a potential for capital flight, in my opinion. That's what's going to happen. With capital highly mobile, there's a risk that investors, especially those in the entrepreneurial class, might relocate to jurisdictions with more favorable tax treatments. And this could lead to brain drain and reduce Canada's competitiveness on the global stage. So we look into we try to put bandages on things, in my opinion, not looking into a long-term impact on Canadian economy. And that's what we have seen from the past as well. When they didn't make a decision to build the infrastructure, more affordable housing, and keep on bringing people, like in immigration. On top of that, we'll love to support other countries by sending billions of dollars and not looking into our own thing. And the impact is happening. Everybody's suffering. Students are suffering over here because the cost of living as well. They come over here, international students especially, they're coming over here with some budget in mind, and cost of living has gone high over here, so they cannot do it. On top of that, recently they also announced they can only work 24 hours in a week. And they're bringing people from all over the world. Sometimes it's not the fit skills, where we need more skills, make initiatives, but they're not doing that. A lot of immigration happen, people coming on the point system over here, and they be not getting the job there in their own field. So we're not creating enough jobs over here as well. But let's stick to the point on the budget right now. So what the lock-in effect is going to be, and the increased tax rate could discourage investors from selling assets, leading to inefficient capital allocation and reduce economic efficiency. Ripple effect on the real estate market, and this is the big one because our economy rely a lot on real estate and immigration, right? And these are the service industries over here. So for real estate investors and homeowners with secondary properties, the increased tax rate could lead to higher tax bills upon sale and potentially cooling the market. And this change could also impact retirees relying on their property investments for income, because a lot of us, including myself, I'll say, rely on our investments because give the higher return. And those are the savings we're doing for our retirement, right? But now suddenly I'm going to know that I have to pay more taxes on that. It's reduced my pension, isn't it? But I don't think the government sees that way. So what can be done? I don't know, beyond these direct effects, we must consider the broader economic implications. Higher taxes on capital gains could indirectly contribute to inflation by reducing the incentive for business investments, which in turn could slow down economic growth. For retirees, the change could alter retirement plans, especially for those counting on their investment portfolios for retirement income. And that's what my plan was. Still is, but the thing is, now I realize I have to make my financial adjustment that now I have to pay more taxes, right? Because when I bought my property, which I was saving it for my retirement income when I'm going to sell it, I bought it for $300,000. It become $1 million, but on 700, before it used to be on 700, 50% of 700, which is 350, have to pay the 50% tax on it, right? But now I have to pay 66.7%. So that will increase, and that taking away my profit away. Looking into prices going higher, but at the same time, it's reducing. So government want that money. And that's what the government is doing. They're taking money from one side and putting other places. And then they give back to you some incentives in tax rebates and stuff, which is sometimes it's a laughing matter, how we do it, how you manipulating things, look into how much we're doing for how much money we're giving, but actually you're taking money from government, from people and giving back to them in different form. And that's not even there because you're paying high expenditure, you're also taking money from them and spending money somewhere else, which is not necessary. And I said in my podcast before as well, as long as it's important to support other countries, but first you have to look into your own home. Where are you going to do it? But unfortunately, like this government, I don't think the policies and procedures are working properly. So what can be done? It's crucial for investors, homeowners, and corporations to reassess their financial strategies in light of these proposed changes. Diversification, exploring tax-efficient investment vehicles, and staying informed are more important than ever. And this is like why you have to look very closely, because we are already seeing the impact when we didn't expect anything like for example, a higher interest rate. And now, based on CMSC, in 2024 and 2025, more than millions houses, homeowners have to pay the higher interest rate. And that's already impacting their lifestyle, their investment strategies. Builders are suffering from them. They're not making more houses. The reason behind that is, high interest rate again. And then also the development charges, like what they have to pay, the increase in development charges as well. So everything is costing more. On top of that, even in construction industry, they not have enough people to construct those homes. So they're having some big challenges. Municipal having a big challenges. They have to change zoning. They have to look into, and every municipal is a little bit different. And every demographic is a little bit different. For example, like Oakville and Milton, they share the borders, but they are different. Milton recently got what is called the incentive for housing, affordable housing, and they got around 22 million. It sounds great, right? 22 million. But in this current market, think about that way. Average house in Milton is costing you 800,000. So how many houses are there? Probably 20, 30 houses. That's what they're calling about the affordable housing. Well, they're proposing a fourplex, which is great, but the municipal have to work on it, and they're proposing near the transit. So a lot of work but because of the red tape, because of the people not talking to each other properly, it will take years to do so, right? By that time, things going to change. Economy is going to change. Then we call upon, something happened in world, another war happened or something, and it's going to impact us well. So I know it's a lot going on. Every day we see in the news, and we just in the night, a lot of people are getting the sleepless night because of that. And that need to change. We need leaders and policymakers like that who can reduce these red tapes and have a long-term plan. I recently heard the Canadian Real Estate Association is giving some recommendation for them. Invest on infrastructure. Invest on housing, like a modular housing, which you can build faster. You need a different kind of skills for the construction. You don't need that many construction workers to build those kind of houses. Looking efficiency, how you can reduce that. Just by taxing people and thinking about investing, putting in the regular way of doing things, which we always have done, is not going to work. Things are changing faster than ever, and government have to realize that. Government have to look into closely that where it can be more effective, how it can be more effective. and stop spending money unnecessarily. Keep giving incentives to people. You know, my biggest thing is like about carbon tax. I don't see anything which they're doing. Rather than, why not invest in reducing that carbon tax rather than taxing people who are using them? First of all, there was no availability of low carbon it's emission. Now, when people using it, you penalizing them for using them. So why not restrict on companies or manufacturing and making houses like that, so it doesn't emit gases that much? That's where it should be working on, rather than taxing people again and again in different ways. To be honest, when I moved in over here, Canada looked like a very lucrative country, until I would say 3-4 years ago. Now things have changed. People are very disappointed, and people are already thinking about where they're going to retire. So we might see a lot of migration happen. We're getting the immigration over here, but that's also going to reduce by making Canada look less lucrative. But on top of that, if you keep on doing the taxes like this, businesses, entrepreneurial will leave the country and they go and invest somewhere else where it's more lucrative. And country who are listening to this or thinking about it, they can take this opportunity that how much brain drain is going to happen, which I don't think this government see it in the long term, how the impact is going to happen. So, in conclusion, while the proposed changes aim to address inequality and fund government priorities, the potential ripple effect could be far-reaching, impacting not just the real estate market, but the broader economy. As we navigate these turbulent waters, staying informed and adaptable will be key to weathering the storm. That's what I can say. Well, reach out to your financial advisor, your tax planner, your realtor, and reassess your financial planning, because this is going to impact, and prepare for that, because believe me not, it's coming and it's already here. And maybe it's a little late because a lot of people, from now it's May and June 25th, the implementation is going to happen. And there was the one theory was, what if this budget didn't get approved? And people in panic mode from now till June 25 is going to sell their businesses assets to avoid that extra capital gain tax, and they decide not to. That could have been a biggest scam in getting the money, billions of dollars from Canadians. But hey, that's just the theory. What in reality is going to happen, we are going to see. But what I wish, we need a change, and we need a good change. So our future generation don't suffer, because I'm worried about my kids. They were not able to afford the house anyway, but it's not only that, the cost of living is going to be such high, and the salaries won't support that. So it's going to be a big struggle for them. And a lot of parents, I probably encourage my kids to get the job in other country, right? Go to US, go to Europe, go to even in India. Right now, the economy is growing over there so much. Even a lot of people from back home calling me and telling me how things are going. and what potential they can see, what's happening over there, a lot of people might think about moving back, right? So, well, thank you for tuning into Real Estate Wisdom. I'm Vishal Kapoor, your friend in real estate, and I'll be back with more insight and analysis to help you make informed decisions in the ever evolving real estate landscape. Stay wise and see you next time. Bye for now. Cast is for informational purpose only and should not be considered as financial or investment advice. Consult with your professional before making any real estate decisions.